Hey Danny, what's up?
How's it going, my man? How you doing?
Really good. How's everything going today?
It's going well. Good to see you.
Yeah, yeah. We have a pretty good history together, so might as
That's
well
right.
keep on flowing. So you have a new single, Hellraiser. Um, it's a little bit of a departure from your normal, uh, songs and stuff like that. It's more melodic, I would say, and stuff like that. I watched the video this morning a couple times. Um, does that mean a new album's coming too?
It does mean that. But it's interesting because Hellraiser kind of stands on its own. We're actually excited to be releasing a couple of standalone singles going into the new year. But yeah, Hellraiser's kind of the first of them, and it's leading us away from our release this year of the Sunburn album, and the North American tour with Raven that came to a close, and kind of bridging us into the next chapter for 2025.
Oh, cool, cool. Tell me, when you're on the road with Raven, I was watching some of the videos of you guys getting out of the van early in the morning, stuff like that. Tell me a couple days, which really goes through being on tour with, a major band.
Well, I mean, especially on that tour, it was a real road dog tour, if you will. Every day you were in a different city. So basically, if you think about it from like let's talk about the nitty gritty, the logistics. It's like, you go probably 2 p.m. at the latest every day, and you're getting loaded in, sound checked at a venue in a city.
Right.
You'll do all the stuff you got to do, rock out on stage, and then it's probably 1 a.m., if not maybe a little later, when you're wrapping up and packing things up, and you're getting in the RV and you're driving through the night for the most part. At least that's what we did. And you'll get to the next city in case you have any car problems or anything like that. And the cool thing that we did on tour was we had drivers, so we would get to the next city and we would go we into like Planet Fitnesses, and we would actually get a workout in, stay up on our fitness, get a shower, and kind of get freshened up for the next day, and maybe a little bit of breakfast, and we're ready to rock. So it was kind of cool, but you know, it's interesting when you're on a tour like that. You go from the partying, like probably starting at 2 p.m. once you're done loading in to 1 a.m. and then it's like, let's do it again tomorrow.
Yeah. Wow, wow. Uh, did you get hotel rooms, or you slept in a van, or both?
For the most part, it was sleeping in the RV while you're driving, while others are taking their turn, if you will.
Right.
And then every now and then we got to kind of enjoy, maybe if you had a gap between days, we got some nice B&Bs along the way and some special spots. I think Austin, we got to spend a night with the other bands out on the strip on Sixth Street. That was fun. We were out dancing. We went into like the most like atypical, like woo girl bar, and they were all dancing to like Taylor Swift and stuff, and here we come all black and studded out, and
Yeah.
we're like, yeah, let's get in there and like mix it up with everybody. So
Oh, yeah,
it was
yeah.
kind of fun.
Wow, wow, wow. So tell me about Sunburn. How's it doing? And have you read reviews?
Yeah, it's it Sunburn is doing pretty good. We're ever evolving and continuously improving, our approach on the business end. But we had a pretty good campaign, and it was exciting to see it kind of reach, even beyond the North American tour, beyond the States. Had a great response in Mexico City, when we finished the tour there with Raven. So people who had listened to it ahead of time, and then it's nice because with the digital world you could see people in Japan and Europe and stuff like that, like really getting to dig their teeth into it. And so we're excited to hopefully one day soon get out into those countries, and meet all those people that have been enjoying our latest release, Sunburn. I think one of the cool stories to kind of sum up your question is I've had now more than I could count on, both hands, instances where like we're at some random place and somebody kind of just passes us, somebody that you would never think maybe would even be into rock and roll. And they kind of take a double look at you and they're like, wait a second, Are you guys the band that does that song Sunburn or that song Gorgeous? And it's like, no way. Like I remember actually being in a Planet Fitness, and we're like, doing our thing, getting showered, getting out there for a workout, and one guy goes, "Yeah, wait a second, you guys look familiar. Do you sing that song Sunburn? My friend just turned me onto it." And I'm like,
Yeah,
that's what it's all about, right?
yeah. Definitely, definitely. Now with the video and your live show, which is amazing, um, have you toned down um your stage wear? Because like I know in the video
That's a
you're
good question. Yeah.
pretty basic, and the stage wear was like really flashy and wild.
Yeah. I think the best way to say it is we're opening ourselves up to allow ourselves to go through evolutions. So whether it be in the songs that we're writing, and the influences we're taking in, or just how we're, presenting ourselves on stage. We've done some pretty cool and fun things over the years, as you know, Brian, with 7-inch platforms and
Right.
white leather, and, you know, big metal rings and stuff like that. And I really enjoy the creative process that goes into the look as well as the music.
Right.
So we're just evolving through that. I think, this past tour, you'll probably see like some lagging video and stuff that was filmed during the tour as these singles come out. And, you know, this time we went with like, this very, I don't know, I'd say kind of straight down the barrel rock and roll look, something you might anticipate like Guns N' Roses or something to have been in,
Right.
like black leather vests and pants, pointy black beetle boots. So yeah, a little toned down, or straightforward, if you will, rock and roll. And then next year, looking forward towards a new album campaign. Who knows what the look will look like, but we're working on it and we're excited to share it with everybody. It's like, it's always fun. Like, what's Wicked going to do next? What are they going to wear? Right.
Right. So far, being in Wicked is everything that you ever thought it would be.
Yes and no. I think when, it's a very interesting question depending on how you dig into it. Yes, because it's like, I knew that, I had a dream to be in this theatrical rock band, and that only I was going to be able to make it happen, or myself and my brother and the other guys. But, yes, we're doing that and it's super exciting. I think no, because in a happy surprise way, I think when you start off as a kid, right, like you only see black and white or ones and zeros, and it's like, hey, I'm like basically in my mom's basement and I want to be at Kiss's level. And like you don't really understand or appreciate everything in between. I think nowadays we're really starting to appreciate the in between, the minutia, just the whole part of living, right? Like and doing this thing together. And God, I'll tell you, I wouldn't trade it for a quadrillion dollars. Just the fact that I'm able to do this stuff with my best friends and the same group of best friends, right? Like we're family now. Like besides for my brother and I, Gunnar and Scott have been in this band with us for almost over a decade, and that's a pretty cool thing. And we're living together, right? Like for that long. So it's, the think about the memories, the vacations, the experiences, the stories that we get to share together. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. So I think that was the unexpected thing, is just all the special moments that happen while you're dreaming of this big, lofty goal, right? And
Right.
it's important not to pass those by and to enjoy them. So
Cool, cool. Now you guys started off on the bottom level, when the band first started. I remember getting uh, a white vinyl album from you guys, which I still have,
that's
and
awesome.
a new band, if they came to you and say, what recommendations can you give me, going into music, since you guys started at the bottom and worked your way up? So what would
Yeah.
you tell them?
I think obviously, as everybody knows, a lot of it is who you know. But what I would tell a new band is focus on what you could control. And I think that's important, right? And it was kind of like I was just saying, like you're gonna have to like understand and realize that there's more to it than just going from point A start to point B record deal. I've got $1 million. I'm driving a Ferrari, etc. You're going to want to enjoy what you're doing and learn how to enjoy it, how to appreciate all those moments, but work on what you could control. And what you could control, might be a finite list, but that's important because those are going to be the factors that are going to help you steer your career and, what you want to do ultimately in the right direction, and I think we've learned that lesson maybe sometimes the hard way. But it's definitely a good lesson to learn. And now, right, like we run the band very, very, very self-sufficiently and compact, which has its pluses and minuses, but we're doing all the work, right? Everything from accounting to the artwork to the videos, but we're getting a really good appreciation of what it takes to do all those things. And I think even if in the future, if we end up working with, somebody else or a company or something, like we'll at least have the knowledge to support that. So you could kind of like, keep things in check and again, appreciate it. So.
Cool. Now, when you went out with Raven, tell me, some of the good memories from that tour, that you really impressed you.
I think it was the people, whether it be the fans or the other bands on the road. It just time and time again, I keep thinking about what are we doing this thing for? And I think it always, one of the big factors is it's the community that you generate and that you get to be a part of and create. And every city, every town that you would go into, even if you had to win people over and we'd have a crowd in front of us that was like, who are these blonde haired guys? What are they, poison? But you do your thing. And then at the end of the day, they're like, wow, that was awesome. And you become friends and you start creating these bonds and relationships and in a rock and roll community. And I think that was awesome. I think the bands on the tour were very awesome people, whether it be the Vicious Rumors guys, Raven, Lotharo. We had a ball, Brian. We had a ball. We were playing pranks on each other. That was a lot of fun, whether it be, the guys coming up on stage and blasting us with water guns or whatever and stuff like that, and us doing something to them. I think that's what really made some of those special memories. And that was pretty cool. So I just think that if younger kids out there, other people out there, you get a chance to experience it, really soak it up and enjoy each other's company, because that's the best part.
Cool. If you got to go overseas and stuff like that, what country would you like to play the most?
Oof, that's a good question. I think for me, it's Japan. I'm super excited to go over there. I saw some of our friends, our contemporaries in Tuck Smith and the Restless Hearts had gone out to Europe, and then they made their way over to Japan. And I'll tell you what, that looks like a blast.
Yeah.
So and like for such a far away land, like it's like I can't wait to get there. Like that's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Tell me a little bit about a show that's, I guess, coming up first, December 13th.
Yeah.
What's that show? Tell me about that.
So that's our show at Lux. Kind of concludes our year, if you will, for 2024. And Lux is a pretty cool place. Not your typical venue you would imagine seeing Wicked at, because it's more of a dive bar,
Right.
located on 666 South Ave. So a play on words, right? Like
Right.
a bit with its name and in a unique location, but it's kind of a spot, a hangout for all the freaks and misfits of the area, and it's a place that we like to call home. And if you could imagine a dive bar, with all the fixings of rock and roll vibe and devil heads on the wall and just interesting looking, walks of life people, um, you know, it's a place where people pack in, and it's a young crowd. And very, very alternative punk rockers, goths, heavy metal heads.
Right.
It's really gonna be fun, and we're doing a special show. It's just us on the bill. We're gonna do 2 hours of Wicked, and you're probably gonna see anything from songs brought down in a very acoustic, like hangout vibe, to our normal hard rock, blowing the stage up. So it's going to be fun.
Oh, cool, cool. Now in Jersey, you had a show, and I guess there was complications or something, and I think the day before you moved it to a different venue. Can you tell me
Oh
anything
yeah,
about that?
on
Yeah,
the Raven tour. Yeah, sometimes you don't get all of the story when you're out on the road, and things can change fast.
right,
Which is like this situation. But yeah, we something happened with the booking side, and the venue got changed last minute. But kudos to whoever was running that in the Raven camp. They were able to pull something off and still solicit a Jersey event in location, and it ended up being fun. And we're excited to get back to Jersey, and maybe some of the fans that we missed that time because of that situation. We're famously known for loving the Jersey area. So we'll definitely be back soon. But yeah, we had a good time. And I all I know from that show is the crowd was rowdy, super excited, and we all had this grand idea that we were going to go out onto the boardwalk, and jump in the ocean, even though it was starting to be that time of the year and get really cold. And we had a couple drinks, and I may have walked out with a bum shoulder, I don't know, like maybe an AC joint tear or something.
yeah,
But
yeah. Wow,
it was like one of those moments, like, oh damn, you hurt yourself
yeah,
on
yeah.
tour, like. But
Wow,
we powered through, and I think there's some shots of me walking around with a sling for in
yeah,
between shows. But I would get up on stage, remove the sling, and just go at it, power through the pain for the remainder of the tour. And we got that all fixed with some physical therapy and whatnot.
right, yeah,
It
yeah.
was fun. It was one of those funny moments.
Yeah, I saw Raven, I mean, a while ago, and like you said, a cast and stuff like that. And I forget,
There you go. Yeah.
I think it was Mark, the guy with the blonde hair.
Classic.
He had a
Classic Mark.
cast on his leg. He still played.
Well, it must be a thing with Mark, because I remember our very first show was in New Orleans for the tour to kick it off, and Mark had sliced his leg on one of like the studs or something on his like leg pad or arm
Oh,
pad, and
yeah.
he had like a 6-inch cut that was about maybe an inch deep. It was pretty bad, and he had to go to the emergency room and be at the next show the next day. So
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, he's a trooper, you know.
yeah, he is.
Tell me a little bit about this House of Blues show on January 23rd, 2025.
So think about it like this. We're going out to California again at the House of Blues with some amazing talent that we're going to be playing with. The Metal Allegiance supergroup. You've got other amazing bands on the bill, including one that has, the Metallica guys' kids in it.
Right,
Um, there's no lack of talent that's going to be there, and it's an industry show during the NAMM convention. It's one of those kind of like dream events that you dream about and think about as you're growing up in the rock and roll metal lifestyle. And we're super super appreciative and excited to be on the bill with these amazing talents, and we're really going to bring the high energy rock and roll with a show, maybe like you've never seen it before. So it's going to be fun. It's going to have a whole new look. We're going to be playing some new songs, and some songs from the upcoming album this year, as well as some of our classic favorites from either Last American Rock Band or the Sunburn album.
right.
And yeah, we're just super excited to, in an industry showcase show like that, to kind of let everybody digest and see what we always tell people about that high energy rock and roll, that wicked rock and roll that you just, you got to see it to believe it.
Cool, cool. Now, I photographed that tour, that Metal Allegiance tour at Starland
Yeah,
Ballroom. Pretty wild, pretty good show. John Bush, I think, was the singer and stuff like that.
that's awesome.
Now, your music don't really fit in with Metal Allegiance, right? So I guess people are going to be like stunned when they see you guys.
Brian, you said it exactly. I think I was doing another interview, and they kind of teased that question, and I was like, no, that's one of the questions I'm hoping people ask, is like, what's that like, right? Because like
Uh,
you're going on a pretty heavy metal bill,
yeah,
And I always say, like, it's just like the Raven tour, right? We had to work through some of those emotions and thought processes, but at the end of the day, if you just be yourself, your true authentic self, which is what Wicked does, and you do it as good as you could do it, people could see that authenticity, and I think they appreciate it. And I think people are going to be surprised and very excited. If it's
Right.
anything like the Raven tour,
Right.
some of those crowds maybe at first were skeptical, but then at the end of the night, they were like, hell yeah, let's
Yeah.
party. This is great. Right. So, we're excited for that effect as well.
Cool. So what are your feelings on meet and greets and fans have to pay?
I think that's an interesting business model. I think in an industry where, hmm, let's try to think of how to maybe say this best, but maybe not worry about being politically correct. Everybody's got their hand out in the industry, and I think the last people who end up getting something is the band. So there's always people trying to find new and innovative ways of making actual money for the people who are doing this as a lifestyle, i.e., the bands, right? So I think it has its place, but I think for us in particular, that place might come at a certain point, but our belief, at least right now, is that we love to be accessible, and to if the fans were going to come out and pay for a ticket and take their time, we're creating a community, like I said earlier, and we want to do that open armed, and really spend time and have conversations with our fans. So, less of a business transaction, more of, like I said, a community and a friendship. So,
And when you went out with Raven, did you hand her from signing autographs?
did we what with signing
Did
autographs?
you hand her from
Hurt.
signing all them autographs?
It's funny because you start blowing through Sharpies pretty quick. So there was a few things that we needed in surplus, and Sharpies was one of them for sure.
Yeah. Well,
Especially when we got to Mexico City, because I think that was one of those whoa moments for us.
right.
Is like it was like Beatlemania down there. We every time we left the hotel with our escort, to go to the venue or just to go to the corner store or something, there were these amazing people that were just swarming the front of the hotel with bootleg posters of Wicked and
Wow.
like these things that we've never seen, but it was like flattering as all could be because it was like, yeah, sure, we'll sign it. We'll take
Yeah,
pictures with
yeah,
you.
yeah. Yeah,
Like, keep
cool.
listening to the music. We love you guys.
Yeah, 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 definitely, definitely. You have anything else going on for the rest of the year?
I think we'll kind of wrap it from a live standpoint like that for this year, but again, we're finishing this album for 2025. It's recorded, and we're just finishing the mixing and mastering and all that business side of things in terms of, the physicals and whatnot.
Right.
And looking to put together next year's tour and campaign. But like I said, in between getting us from here now to that album release and after the House of Blues show,
Right.
you're going to see some singles come out, and we like to do that because, we like to keep our fans engaged with us and give them content. And gosh, I mean, we have so many songs that we can't even keep up with ourselves sometimes.
Right.
We're probably sitting on 3 albums worth of material that we
Right.
just can't get out fast enough. So we're super excited to see what the fans think of it. They'll have awesome music videos, and maybe we'll even do some special merch and stuff like that for it. So, look forward to that.
Cool, cool. Well, Danny, it was great chatting with you, as always. You know,
My pleasure.
yeah, would you like to say anything to the fans in conclusion?
Yeah, I mean, hey, thank you guys. I think I posted a fan appreciation post a few days ago. Like I said, we love you guys. You keep us going, and you're what, again, makes this community meaningful, to what we're doing. So, we appreciate all your support. If you haven't signed up, on our website, if you go all the way to the bottom, you can just drop your email and subscribe. That gets you on our fan group newsletter, which we call Beerness. Goes out every Friday, gives you some inside information that others don't get on Instagram or other social media, and gets you early looks at stuff. So, if you want, join that. We always appreciate building our intimate fan base that way. And hey, just keep an eye out for new stuff because we're just getting started, really. I think the evolution of Wicked has got a lot of fun and interesting new surprises ahead of us. So stay tuned.
Cool, cool. Congratulations on Hellraiser. See you later,
Thank you,
man.
Brian. Thank you. Hey, rock on, brother.
Bye bye.
Yeah.